Chapter 7. Blood and Brass. The afternoon sun hung low, casting long shadows across the cracked pavement in front of the house. Police tape fluttered in the warm breeze, marking the perimeter of a tragedy the neighbors would talk about for weeks, maybe months. A handful of curious onlookers loitered just beyond the tape, their murmurs a low hum of speculation. Inside the cordon, officers moved with practiced precision, snapping photos, dusting for prints, and cataloging the chaos left behind. Detective Simmons ducked under the tape, his sharp eyes scanning the scene with the cool detachment of someone who'd seen too many like it. He was mid-40s with a face weathered enough to suggest experience, but not so much that he'd given up on the job. His boots crunched against the gravel as he approached Officer Martinez, who was scribbling notes into a worn notebook. "What's the situation, Martinez?" Simmons asked, his tone measured. Martinez glanced up, his expression grim. "Two dead, sir. One identified as the homeowner, known to us, and the other a junkie. No ID yet." Simmons' jaw tightened as he took in the rundown house. Paint peeling from the walls, weeds overtaking the front yard, a place that had given up long before today. "Cause of death?" Simmons asked, though he could already guess. Martinez didn't sugarcoat it. "They both got their heads blown off. Close range. It's messy in there." Simmons let out a low breath, his gaze drifting to the house's open door. The entryway yawned like a mouth ready to swallow anyone foolish enough to step inside. "Weapon?" Simmons pressed. Martinez flipped a page in his notebook. "Missing. We found nickel-plated .45 casings, but no gun. Neighbors reported hearing shots and saw someone running out and hopping into a truck. Could be our shooter took the weapon." Simmons frowned, his mind churning through the possibilities. "Any leads on him?" Martinez shook his head. "Not yet. From what we gathered, might be a local, possibly one of the dealer's clients. We're pulling surveillance and talking to informants." Simmons nodded, taking in the information as his eyes scanned the scene again. The neighbors' whispers carried faintly in the wind, fragments of speculation and fear. He ignored them. "All right," Simmons said, his voice firm. "Let's get a description out to all units. I want roadblocks set up and notify the station to flag anyone trying to get treated for gunshot wounds or related injuries." Martinez nodded, already jotting down notes. "Yes, sir. I'll coordinate with dispatch." Simmons took a step closer to the house, peering into the dim interior from a safe distance. Bloodstains smeared the floor and walls, the crimson stark against the dingy wallpaper. It was the kind of scene that stayed with you, whether you wanted it to or not. "Keep me updated," Simmons said, turning back to Martinez. "Understood, sir," Martinez replied. Simmons nodded curtly, his boots crunching again as he headed back toward his car. He paused at the edge of the tape, his eyes sweeping the neighborhood. Each overgrown yard, each sagging porch, each cracked window. They all told the same story. This was a place where hope had packed up and left years ago, leaving desperation to move in. As Simmons opened the door to his unmarked car, he glanced back at the house one last time. The sun glinted off the tape, and for a moment, the breeze carried the faint scent of gunpowder. Simmons slid into the driver's seat, his mind already running through the next steps. Somewhere out there, the shooter was running, and Simmons wasn't the type to let him get too far.